fleet managers have an opportunity to educate their drivers about the dangers of distracted driving and establish a clear corporate policy.
Well, I think there's a couple of issues for fleet managers to understand around distracted driving. The first is that there's a large educational opportunity that they have at their companies. There's a lot of misperceptions around distracted driving because it involves a number of different behaviors. You can start with texting, using the cell phone, and then some people go all the way into working with the GPS system, changing the radio, eating in the car, attending to other passengers. So first it's important to get the facts out to the company and get them bought into what your solution is. Clearly for drivers, professional drivers, the biggest issue is the cell phone, which generally involves texting and having both hands-free and hands-held calls. There's a lot of information out there. The National Safety Council has done a lot of research. NHTSA has a lot of information, and the Department of Transportation, in conjunction with them, have done a lot of outreach campaigns and provided a lot of educational material to help you get the facts. Once you have the facts and have explained those to your company, what's really important is to develop a policy that explains exactly what is allowed and not allowed around distracted driving behavior. Most states are starting to ban text messaging, and in fact OSHA has also come out with regulations that requiring text messaging as part of a job is no longer allowed under OSHA. And a number of states are banning handheld use of cell phones. Probably the next conversation that comes after that is whether or not hands-free cell phone use is just as distracting as handheld cell phone use. But what's important for fleet managers is that they work with their company to establish a clear policy, and then that they enforce that policy, just like with any other safety regulations that they have in their driver policy. Enforcement is the most important thing, because if you acknowledge the issue and then don't do anything about it, it's probably actually worse than doing nothing at all. One of the important concepts around negligent entrustment is, first of all, that it's not okay to bury your head in the sand. You have to be proactive in terms of knowing whether or not your drivers are safe, in terms of having a clear safety policy, and in terms of enforcing it. And one of the things I've been talking to fleet managers about is that it doesn't matter whether they're in a company-provided vehicle or whether they're driving their own vehicle. You're still responsible for safe driving of any business transportation that happens. So in my opinion, it's important that they expand their policies to include both company fleet-provided drivers as well as people who are being reimbursed for using their own vehicle. Obviously, the same issue would apply to spouses, children of drivers,